door here. So, the last couple of lives I've featured a friend of mine called Terrakiller T1. He will not be in this live stream. He'll be in them occasionally, but, not always, right? It's like maybe like 5% of the time. It was great having him around. He helped with quite a lot of stuff, including the project that today we're working towards. So, you may remember that in the last couple of streams, I talked about where those drawers were, over that way. I wanted to replace it and get something else, and, move the giraffe out of the way. That's the. If anyone's wondering why there's a bit of string there, I used to hang Planet Series sets. Anyway, yeah, glass display cabinets. I was only just filling the drawers of that with junk, like I wasn't productive or anything. And yeah, so I looked at cabinets on Amazon, and they're like 120 to 150. So I was like, I need to really want it, and how do I do it? By the way, thing in the background, that's Futurama. It's another show I have an obsession with. I have thought about buying the collectibles and stuff, maybe potential content. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, I wasn't too sure. I ended up having to be next to my work. There's like one of these big charity shops, but it's full of furniture. And it was a kind of suggestion from me, goes, why not look in there for cabinets? We found more or less a nicer version of the one I found on Amazon in there for like 20 quid. Fully working, it's got the lights, which the one on Amazon didn't have. And, it's not that tall. I think it maybe comes up to about maybe here on me. I don't... Watch me get it in here if I'm completely wrong. Anyway, so this live stream will last until I get an email. Like, here's the thing. They're going to email or call me, right, to say they're outside. Or what... Or look, I'm still waiting on a text message, essentially, right, from them, because it's the British Heart Foundation, to say, oh, by the way, we're coming at such and such a time slot. I've not seen anything to suggest a time slot. I'm going to quickly check, actually. Yeah, I just confirmed with the email. It's still the same basic email they sent me earlier. Oh, it's your standard do not reply. We're coming later today. We will email you with a specific time slot. So 1 second. I'm just going to close the email application. More battery power. So this is one of 2, possibly 3 streams that I have planned for today. I've actually been quite busy production-wise today, which is actually quite good, getting some stuff done. I've recorded a couple episodes of Collecting the Complete Saga. So yeah, I know you guys typically have, a lot of you newer viewers have come here from the live streams, which I've just realized I should probably log in and make sure, using the power of the laptop, the audio is working. Oh, that's on foresight. See if I log in and the audio's not coming through. But you'll get this stream and I'll stop streaming once the cabinet arrives, right? Because I don't see the point in continuing it by that point. Last night's stream was both great viewership, but also a complete disaster. PS3 died during the stream. Disaster. PS3 died during the stream. Well, we got confirmation that the audio is go, because sometimes there is audio glitches. But yeah, we were gaming last night. Me and Terrakiller T1, one of our favourite games that we love to play is Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga. For some reason that game just never gets old to us. And we're playing it. Now, back in October, I bought a fully refurbished PS3, right? Yeah, I think you're the only person watching. I've not advertised this one on the other social medias. It was kind of a spur of the moment. I'll go live before the display cabinet arrives. That way you get 2. But I bought one of these PS3s, right? In fact, I need to unplug it anyway. I'll show you what I'm on about. So I need to unplug it and stuff for when I take it in. Hey. So I bought one of these, right? Back in November. It's one of the original PS3s. And it was a fully refurbished one as well. And it's the rare one. It's the one that can play PS2 games. Fun fact, every PS3 model that they made can play PS1 games for some reason. But only certain models could play all 3 consoles. And this is one of those ones. Now, unfortunately, we were playing on it last night, right? During the stream, it got it cut off completely. We went to turn it back on and it got the yellow light of death. Which basically, that was the PlayStation equivalent, if you guys remember the 360's red ring of death. But the difference was, right, with these, the 360 typically needed replacing when those red ringed. Because I was watching a thing about it this morning. So the PS3s were typical, the 360s, right, when those red ringed, those were kind of just screwed completely. You could fix them, but it made more sense to get a new one. But with the PS3s, from what I was watching a documentary about it, because I was trying to get info on it, these were easier, more of these got repaired. They had a higher repair rate. So I bought that, and it's still under the warranty, right? My warranty is 2 years. So tomorrow after work, most likely I'll hand it into the place I got it from. So I was checking their policy on that. They'll offer a couple of different things. I can either have, they'll try and repair it. If they can't repair it, they'll replace it. If they can't replace it, they'll give me a full refund. And I've already decided that if they give me the full refund, I'm just going to buy the PS3 Slim and a PS2. That way I'll have all those, because both those consoles can do PS1 games. Because that's kind of, that's a cool console as well. It's just an absolute shame that it's went and done that. So what it is, I wasn't using the thing too much because I was always at work or busy. And recently, I've just been playing it a lot more. So maybe it just wasn't used to the constant use. I don't know. It's an absolute shame because it's looking in the back and the ports and stuff. It's rather clean in there. So then this one's not filthy or logged with dust. So it's unfortunate, but these things happen. But the whole purpose of today's stream is to prep for the glass display cabinet I've got coming. So the stream's 7 minutes in, right? If I get that email or phone call that's saying it's being delivered in 5 minutes, the stream's over. Part 15, rather quick. But I'm looking to get some progress done, organise the area where it's going to have to sit, and go from there. You know, recent streams I've got the shelving done. It's annoyed me because, see, last night, me and my co-host have to shut up. Make me. But really. Well, now you're in a timeout. So, yeah, it's one of those things that the two of us decided. So I'd actually thought, well, we'll do a gaming stream because those have done quite well. And unfortunately, it just wasn't working. And yeah, I silenced you. You don't like my content. I don't care. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. Because the shelves are looking great, but this glass display cabinet will elevate what I'm trying to do, and it's also, I believe, with the height of it, I could fit the the Lego Death Star on top of it, which is a goal. Not the new Death size thing. I've actually been eyeing up buying an older one. If you can't tell and you're new here, we're a Lego based account. I have timed you, apparently, so 24 hours is 86,000 seconds. Did not know that. It's telling me here. I don't often feel the need to time people out on these lives, but I couldn't be bothered with that. So, it is a bit messy in here, but the area we're clearing, that's where the glass cabinet is going to sit next to those drawers. So that's kind of what I'll be setting up and reorganizing. I'll be talking Lego with you guys, all that kind of good stuff. You know, these streams have been doing quite well, so I'm going to continue to make them. Right, this is day 5. No, wait, this will be day... I've been streaming every day consistently since Tuesday. So, this is day 5. It's day 5 of trying to do a stream every day in a row until something prevents me. So we're doing all right. Take the table and put it on here. But I've been filming some stuff for this account. So if you're new here, if you've been watching kind of the last kind of couple of weeks, you will only really know me as doing live streams, or unless you optionally chose to watch some of the older content on here. But my main type of content on here is mostly, well, it's always been Lego for the most part. There was went for a phase maybe 10 years ago where there was gaming videos, but we're mostly a Lego channel now. And that's always been my main kind of enjoyment and passion. So these live streams have been a recent experiment just to say, well, they do very, very well. Like, better than I ever thought they would be if I was to start streaming. That's why I never done it, because I'm like, well, 2 people might show up, but some of these live streams do get decent amounts of views. So a couple of things I need to sort out. I'll be right back. But we'll see how long we can go before I get that email or phone call saying, hey, we're outside with the display cabinet. And see, once the cabinet is here. I will, let the phone charge for a little bit, and then I'll stream as we're bringing the cabinet in. Like, you guys will be set up like over here. There'll be a view of the door, and I'll bring it in. That's kind of where we're going. But it's cool. I'm not just going to strictly use it for Lego Star Wars stuff or Lego, but there's a few other things that I've been wanting to collect and get into, but I feel the cabinet would be the best way to go. So I'll be back in a moment. Thanks for the likes. So, like I said, over there it is messy, so I'm not trying not to show it, but it's all the stuff I have to sort through. I'll be where the glass cabinet goes. I reckon it'll come up to maybe about here on the shelves, something like that. If you're new here, my shelves are normally a lot more organized than they currently are, but it's just with moving things around and reorganizing to accommodate new things, it kind of looks the way that it does. So I'll have you guys point at the cool view, possibly some new people join. They get to see things like UCS Falcons, Hoth, the sail barge. Kind of gives people an idea of what they're getting into. But yeah, I'm just gonna start prepping and organizing just for the arrival of this, because I don't want it to come and the place is not ready for it. But yeah, this is something I've thought about back and forth for a little while about doing. It's one of those things I just couldn't decide on, but for me, it was like, do I want to spend all that money for a glass cabinet, then end up not liking it? But when I saw it for 15, that was like 20 quid. And it was nicer than the one I was looking at. It was just happened to be used in one of these charity stores. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll have that. Since we're technically a Star Wars channel, I need to show off a lightsaber. I've always thought about wall mounting these. But yeah. So day 5, I'm trying to get a stream out, and we're actually, in some days, like today will be a good example. The Fisherman Richard Kyle. Hey, how's it going? Some days I've had more than just the single stream. I've actually had multiple, so I want to know if I want to see how many days I can do that. We're doing alright so far with it. Because, for those of you who are new here, before doing live streams on here for the most part, I was pretty much exclusively streaming on TikTok, right? Because I've got over 7,000 followers there. It's great. Why did I ban Kato? Because they felt the need to come into my stream and tell me to shut up. But that's kind of the plan. I was streaming on TikTok, but they kept banning me for all sorts of nonsense. The big one was putting up posters. They felt the need to ban me for putting up these. I put these 2 posters up. These are Japanese versions of the Star Wars posters. You know what? You're out as well. Nah, well, regardless, I'm not having people coming at my stream and telling me to shut up, so bye. No, I was putting these up, and according to TikTok, these are a violation of their terms of services to put these up. Apparently, I've done something wrong by putting up, these. TikTok has a problem with people, I don't know, putting up posters. TikTok, I streamed on there for about a year and a half, but they just kept giving me problems. The YouTube channel that we're currently streaming on has existed for 11 years, so I thought, why not? Yeah, no, you're right there. They don't need to be rude. Like, yeah, I've put you in a timeout because you came into my stream randomly, started telling me to shut up. Not to put up with that. You can just not watch the live stream. It's a bit pathetic though. You get timed out in a live stream, so you send your brother. So I need to do this without knocking down those drawers. Yeah, I'm Scottish. I gave them an 86. I didn't ban them. I just put them in a timeout so they can't comment for 24 hours. I can't be bothered with that nonsense. Yeah, I'm Scottish. I'm from Edinburgh. Let's lift this up. Basically, the other reason, my motivating factor was I went to actually go see what the hell was in these drawers. And I noticed that the frame that the drawers were part of was only being held up by the drawers. So the drawers were doing all the structural work. And I'm like, no, that's eventually just going to collapse. And potentially take out the shelving with it. Like the IKEA shelves. I'm like, you know what? That could damage those. It could take out the Lego drawers on the other side. So I thought, nah, we're going to replace these. But this cabinet does look nice. I'm just frantically checking emails here just to... They're either going to email me or call me. So this live stream ends randomly. That's why. I don't usually end them randomly. But if that arrives, I will. So essentially it's kind of just turned into a pile over there, but there's all the stuff that was in those drawers that I decided to keep. But for the most part, I'm going to go in work tomorrow. I'm just going to buy like a plastic box or some of it and store it under the bed. Out of 3 drawers, I think I only really decided to keep the contents of 1. And even at that, half that stuff doesn't normally sit in drawers anyway, so it works out fine. Just getting the place ready for this, because this will be great. I was trying to organise some of this stuff in this pile. Like I put onto the bed. It's the stuff that was sitting there. So I had a friend staying over, and he kind of sleeps down there. Supercar Street Finds UK. How you doing? So that's kind of the goal with this. Yeah, he was staying here for a couple of days while I moved things around, so he even helped with some other, non-channel related projects. So he kind of slept there. He brings like a sleeping bag and all that kind of thing. So the stuff I didn't really organise, I just kind of put it back in a pile where the unit used to sit. But I'm getting all that. Have I got a what? Have I got what? I'm going to have to rewire some of where I put some things as well. So like the amplifier and stuff that I do have, and play instruments as well, that'll need to be dealt with. Have I got a what? I'm anticipating this question. I'll keep going. I'll check back in a minute. See what you're asking. Seriously? Whatever. Y'all got better things to ask. That's trying to be... Do you know what? It's not the worst thing that people have commented. I would say what the worst things people have commented, but I feel that would try and get me a ban. I think that would get me banned if I was to even mention some of those things. probably a good thing he took off early this morning, because then I can really get a lot more done. Because this room's alright for one person, but with two people it can get a little bit cramped. It's not that you would report, it's YouTube themselves. Like, whatever moderates or watches this to make sure I'm not doing something stupid, that would report me. But, like, just like the most disgusting, childish nonsense you can think of, it's basically that. Yeah, some of it is really disturbed. Not to mention, this is primarily a channel where we do Lego and collectible items, so it's not really something I would discuss here. But yeah, some of it was insane. Last night's stream, you'd find the reaction of one of the things that was commented. It was crazy. Honestly, man, I'm not a football fan. Just something I've debated making a YouTube video on, because these are something I did, 10 years ago now. Search what? Here's something I've debated doing, because I think it's a full set. Fair enough. Something I might do a potential video on is these cards, because it's a full set of the things, and it's these Star Wars trading cards from 2016. A couple of friends of mine were giving me ideas that they wanted to see. This is one that's highly requested for some reason. I think I'm only missing like maybe 2 or 3 of the cards as well, so I don't know, potential content. I think I'm missing one of the holo cards. Just fixing this card's falling out of its slot. So, Millennium Falcon holo card. Maybe it is something that will get content. I had a lot of fun collecting these back in the day. I'm just moving some other things. But essentially, I'm just clearing the area. These Lego drawers that sit here, if any of you guys saw on the TikTok or the live stream on here where I built the UCS Falcon, and I showed off the crazy way that the person had sent it. Of course I like Legos. I think like's an understatement. I'll show you once I've got the area cleared, but essentially I've got these Lego. I'll show you just now actually. Ready? Right, so over here I've got these drawers. Now, these drawers, the story behind these, I never actually bought these. When I got it's over here. When I got the 2007, you're 76. Yeah. I'm nearly 23. When I bought the UCS Falcon, I bought this used, and this is a big set. And normally, there's kind of 2 ways a seller sends a used set, right? Normally, it's all the parts, well, there's kind of 3 ways I found it. Normally, it's all the parts get thrown into a bag, right? For example, think of a good example of a set that was sold to me like that. For example, the 2005 Clone Turbo Tank, all of it thrown right in a bag, right? All the parts, have to build it yourself. Fair enough. I've bought sets like the Home 1 up here, where that was disassembled backwards and put into numbered bags like it would have been brand new. And then there's things like I need to rebuild it, but there's things like the drop ship from 2009 where they essentially threw it upside down in a box with no bags. And then there's this case here. So this Falcon, when I bought it, the person had taken it apart, organized like I put all these type of pieces together, all these plates together, right? And what he had done was he had taken a whole bunch of these and organized the parts into this and many other boxes. And there's a video on here a few months ago of me opening it up because of how crazy the way it was unboxed. And the way it was, honestly, it was insane. Obviously, I'm using it for other things currently, Lego related. But that's how I got these drawers. I essentially taped like down the middles and all that. And it was like, I've taken some of them out now, but like there's little dividers like this was how it was done. It was insane. But that was how the Falcon got sent to me. That's the best pack job I've ever done. Granted, the set took hours, days to build. But it's better than, think of it, right? Take it over here. Think of how big this set is, right? If you know the size of a minifigure, that is the overall size of it. All the parts, all the technic structure that would go into this. And, that's a lot of pieces. I think this one's... I don't actually know the piece count of this one on top of my head. It's probably between 4,000 and 5,000. I'd imagine the 2017 update to this was a lot more parts, but that's how he sent it. The guy sent it in those, and it was like the best thing I'd ever received, in terms of packing a set. I mostly buy the sets used. I've occasionally bought a sealed set, an old sealed set. The Jabba's Palace up here I bought sealed. Your wife, goodbye. That was sealed. What else? The Super Star Destroyer from 2011 was sealed. So, it's kind of... Okay, like, Palpatine's Arrest was sealed, but I bought that before it was worth the insane amounts of money that it's worth. So, normally I buy them used. Like, most of this shelf here, apart from the Mos Eisley Cantina, was all bought used. Anyway. I'll put these back up here. I'll continue talking to you as I organize all of this stuff here that needs to be moved. Trust me, there'll be a big lag. I need to reorganize other parts of the room, but this is one of 2 streams that'll be happening today. As like I said, this one will end. There's one of 2 ways this one's going to end, right? Either I get that phone call or email saying, oh, by the way, but I think they have to give me a little advance knowledge on that one. So it's not like they're randomly going to turn up. But then again, places like that probably do turn up. I don't know. No, it's not too bad this stream. Thanks everyone who's turned up so far. Greatly appreciate it. I'm quickly check emails. Perfect. All organised. I'm going to put something background noise on because I'll notice something. Typically with the YouTube streams, there is no co-host. We don't do that. I can't have anything licensed. I was watching Futurama, so I've been rewatching it, but that I can't really do. I can't do anything that's called... I can do other YouTubers' content, but for example, I can't have Star Wars on in the background. I can't have Futurama. Music as well. See, when this is when it's live, it's all good. I can do whatever I want. But this uploads as a YouTube video when it's done, and I like that because it's for people who miss out on these, and I like to be able to come back to them for whatever reason. I've wanted to, edit a clip, get a clip from it or something. I don't know. But yeah. I don't know. Look, see what I can find. Just so there's, it's not deafening silence.
I'm historian Mark Reed.
I do want to know where the remote is, actually. Turn it down a bit. But knowing me and knowing how much of an idiot I can be, I probably buried it. Yeah, I've probably been stupid. It's not a problem if it's slightly loud. There's a YouTuber that I like to sometimes put on that I find relaxing to listen to. The guy who does other Lego content, but I've noticed it's
Probably all recognized, featured in many sets from 2008 to 2013. Roku City is a place like no other. An idyllic, serene, endlessly looping digital landscape free from real-life worries. The distinctive purple magenta glow, art deco style, plethora of film and television references elevates this above the status of a simple screensaver, but to the status of internet meme. Pack your bags, we're moving to Roku City. Roku City is my emotional support city. What if we kissed in Roku City? Its cultural impact is not to be understated. As of this year, Roku devices are streaming in over 90 million households. We may have passed the days of frequent Roku City memes, but the world's most iconic virtual skyline remains ever present in our minds.
So, here's where we're at. I'm just currently moving everything around to get those drawers out. Pause this. So I'm currently moving all the stuff away from there so I can get it all out. Those drawers will be going back there, but I'm going to wait till the cabinet's in because I don't want to have to be trying to shimmy it in between the drawers and the Ivars. That just sounds like a problem. I don't want to do that. So I'm taking them out temporarily. Like, hopefully it comes in reasonable time. Like, I hope I don't have all this done by like 1 o'clock. Oh, by the way, it comes at 7 p.m. I mean, that'd be kind of annoying.
Dreamy neon loop to life out of Lego interested me for quite a few reasons. One, the colors. It's impossible to look at this striking virtual landscape without appreciating the feel of this unique magenta, purple, blue, orange, and yellow color scheme. I think that's one of the main reasons Roku City is so memorable. And as a Lego mock builder, these are really colors I haven't explored to their fullest in custom Lego builds. Would it even be possible to recreate this piece of art with the limited colors available in Lego's portfolio? Two, the depth. Unlike scrolling television screensavers, Lego is a 3D art. I really want to create that sense of depth between the foreground buildings, spanning ocean, and intricate skyline that Lego is specially made to do. Lego's art line of sets are great, but I think even more can be done in this instance.
Yeah, basically trashed the place as part of this project, which is unfortunate, but trust me, this will be worth it. Right.
People in Lego Roku City that they have with the real Roku City. And finally, 3. It's funny. Is it worth it spending tens of hours and hundreds of dollars designing and building a virtual screensaver out of Lego for the meme of it all? Yes. Like any city, we must first establish a sturdy foundation to lay our bricks in.
Right, I'm going to show you where we're at and where it's getting moved to, the Lego drawers.
To save some moolah on all the unique parts I'll be buying for this build. The base itself is 56 studs wide and 8 studs deep.
Alright, I'll pause this guy.
Important question is...
Right, let me show you. Just come over here, right? We have the drawers. And obviously they don't always open. These are the dividers that are originally in these. Are these, right? Now in some of these drawers, for example, this one here, contains a whole bunch of like, you know, non-Star Wars characters. You've got like Indiana Jones in there. I mean, wait, maybe apart from the Minecraft, maybe it is just strictly Indiana Jones. No, got one of the Lego Atlantis helmet things in there as well. There are some variation of things in there. That's kind of cool. What else we got? So on this side, don't want to rip those. Right, there we go. That's some old school Lego posters in here. Is like basically just mostly Ninjago figures. Stuff like that. Some dividers in here, right, is the one I'm probably using most frequently. These are the collector's cards for some of the minifigures I've bought from Brick Rebellion. The ones we've got in there. Some pretty cool ones. Some cases, like that was an extra case that came with the Shock T. So you could change her leg, because fun fact, with the Lego video games, her legs are different colours in the video game and then the Complete Saga version. I know this is this is what Ayla Secure came in because of her special head mold. So, you know, there's some interesting things, like, I guarantee you half the droids need repaired, but this is this one's lost its head, but this is like the majority of the droid army in there. And, you know, mostly just parts down this way. So this is going over there. That's what we're going to try and get that over to. So I'm going to flip the camera. I'm going to put you over here while I do that. It's not going to be fun to move. I've moved this before, but it's like, it's not fun. Yeah, you could suggest to me, hey, why don't you just take all the drawers out? I feel like that would be more of a pain, but I know that I'm physically capable of moving this. I hate that I'm saying that on a stream, and then if I potentially drop and screw this up, this project just became harder. These will go back where they are, but I feel a bit easier to maneuver things in if this is not where it is. Right, let's get that over there. Now I'm going to move another couple things, and it should be good to go. Nope, we've got a commenter. Yeah, no, that... Don't call me that. That's just creepy. I'm going to take the vacuum cleaner in here and just give this a good going over, just to make it all neat and tidy. Try to take advantage of the time that I've got until they arrive. Right, it's looking good, getting all these bits moved. Feel like I've got parts here and there that maybe popped out the drawers. Just getting them off the floor, so I'm going to vacuum this area soon. So I did open those drawers quite roughly a little while ago. I know that some tiny parts just shot right out of the drawers. It feels weird having that area empty. A part of me thinks it would be nice to keep this bit this way, but, you know, I've already bought and paid for the cabinet, plus the cabinet just looks good. Check this. So, right here will be where the cabinet will sit, right? Then the drawers that we moved will also have to kind of sit there as well. But they'll be sitting either kind of the way they were, long ways, or coming out the way to meet the cabinet. The cabinet is probably about the width for those. I'm not entirely sure. That'll be great, because, you know, the shelves are looking a bit crazy. This is kind of the wire up for that lamp. See? Being back 5 minutes ago. All right. But you can kind of get the general idea of the plan. Look at the cabinet itself, right? Is not as tall as these. So I'll be able to have like a tall set on top of it, which should be good. There's a couple sets I wouldn't mind putting on top of that. So that'll be cool. So also still stuff to organize. I will stay alive for a bit longer. See notification here. So just follow us on the Instagram. If you guys want to see more content like this, or, you know, pictures from behind the scenes, or just any of that kind of nonsense, or just whatever I feel like posting that particular day, Catherine Rex Production 72 on Instagram is the place to look. There's also a TikTok with the same name where I upload things more or less daily. But, you know, let's get What? You know what? Fair enough. All right, 1 second. I said that as I actually just got a TikTok follower. That'd be really funny if it was one of you guys. I've got over 7,000 followers there, nearly 200 on Instagram. So, you know, we're doing things. All right, let's flip this over. Now, I think the door just went, so I'm going to be back in a moment. I'm going to use the loo and then we'll crack on. But let's we're making progress. It does feel weird to be able to step around in this area because I've never been able to do that. All right, I'm back. Have I done what? Ah, it's just Instagram notifications from that. this. This area is pretty much sorted. I'm just going to start, going through and organising some things. So I'm going to put that background noise on again, just so there's complete silence when I'm not talking.
Which buildings are going up top? Being a scrolling screensaver, there's a lot of options. This colorful diner, the Ghostbusters headquarters, a factory, haunted house, and plenty more. The order of the builds is somewhat random as they scroll through, so really, I can pick whichever buildings I please. And I think I've narrowed it down to 3 excellent, recognizable choices.
Figuring this
On the
out.
left side will be the Hill Valley Courthouse from Back to the Future. It wouldn't be Roku City without some obvious movie references. And how could I not choose the courthouse? Next,
First thing I got to organise is a
iconic
R2-D2.
location in Roku City, the movie theater. Besides
Really?
putting the movie and city concept together in a single building, it also looks like
Someone said that was their brother 5 minutes
Lastly,
ago.
I wanted a building that makes Lego Roku City really feel like a city. So that's why I've gone with this seemingly simple apartment building with a restaurant.
I can't be bothered with this.
Although I had to make some difficult cuts to our roster of buildings, I think this trio will serve excellently as the foreground to the display in the background. Let's talk color. Truthfully, the unique colors featured in this build was one of the main reasons I wanted to make this video. The flamingo pink name being used for a color
I'm back
Lego piece
with some
sourced
technical
from inside
problems.
Bricklink Studio. So, if you know what the is going on, please leave a comment down below. With that, the 3 large buildings are
Right.
largely complete.
One thing I got to do, I'm going to get a big bag
It's not. It wouldn't be a
to throw
bustling
things
city
out.
without some
Alright.
traffic. So I've chosen to recreate this white Porsche, I think. I'm very happy with how this one stud wide car looks at this small of a scale. The restaurant wouldn't be complete without a small table and chairs out front, and I'm glad it kind of actually looks like a table and chairs. I also left a spot for a lamppost in front of the courthouse, which adds some much needed variety to the very left side of the build. The movie theater is obviously incomplete at this point. The sign above the marquee is practically the most important part. I really couldn't add every detail to the sign, so I tried my best to make sure it at least had the right shaping and Roku City feel to it. With the space available, I also had to get creative to make the text even somewhat readable. It kinda says Roku City. Kinda? At this scale, these buildings are sort of a simplistic Lego rendering of how they actually look as they scroll past. But I'm really happy with the feel it's giving off already. Looking at the courthouse, I don't know if the gradient worked perfectly, but I'm quite glad I included it. Without the recessed windows and protruding columns, I think this building would look quite flat. Of course, I had to include the large clock up top, tucked between 2 abstract line statues.
I'm
straight
gonna
out of the
start
the movie
by
theater
getting
is
things
probably my
organised.
favorite building. Once again,
Throwing out things that are just not needed, which, that's a thing.
The 2 sets of double doors on either side of the box office look sweet, and the marquee and sign absolutely sell the look of this colorful theater. I'm very pleased with the apartment building as well. The fire escape ended up being magenta because that was really the only color in my palette that has official molds of the jail bar pieces. Magenta is not the right color, but I honestly don't mind how it turned out. Tell me bring out the whole ocean! Tell them to bring out the whole ocean. That's right, DJ Khaled. It's time to set sail over the purple seas of Roku City and get back to building. Here's the ocean gradient plan. Dark purple to medium
I think what we're going to do, right,
magenta to bright pink.
I'm going to take a break to do some Instagram related stuff. I said I keep that updated. So I will come back in about maybe half an hour and we'll continue.
Try to add a bit of gradient to the reflective shimmers of waves as the ocean